Hey guys, Gary with Automatic Door and Hardware. In today's video, what we're going to go over is how to install an ADA lock indicator. Now, I already had a video where it was already pre-prepped and it was just sort of a how to replace it or install it if it's already prepped. This particular application, the door is not prepped for it. So I'm going to show you how to add it, to any storefront door that does not have it. So very useful video, and let's get into it.
Okay guys, so here what I'm doing is I'm referencing the ADA lock indicator template provided by the manufacturer, and I'm just marking out with a pencil the cutout. So here the door lock is still in the door style, and I'm literally just measuring off of the lock cylinder, and I'm going to draw basically a rectangular uh, sketch of what I need to cut out. They do make jigs for this. Unfortunately, I didn't have mine, so I just did it by hand. I figured, uh, somebody out there might want to know how to do it by hand, because not everybody has a jig. But what these lock indicators are is it indicates the status of the lock. And you might wonder, well, that's kind of cool, but why do I need that? Well, it is a requirement in the state of Washington, Oregon, California, Utah, and Idaho. There could even be more states, so definitely check your local jurisdictions. But it's a good thing to have. And if you're familiar with storefront doors, you've probably seen it, on doors that you've exited from. It's going to be on the interior side of the building. Is the side the lock indicators on? So here, what I'm doing is once I've marked out the cutout section I need to do, I'm just going to go ahead and remove the faceplate from the deadlock. It was those 3 screws, and now I'm actually going to remove the 2 screws holding in the lock body. Now, before I can actually pull the lock body out, I have to remove the lock cylinders. Obviously, you got to do this because I'm going to be using a drill to bore out that hole, and I don't want to go into the lock body. So to remove the lock cylinders, there are 2 small flathead set screws. So I loosened the one towards me, and now I can unthread the cylinder. And later on in this video, this cylinder, the trim ring was actually damaged. I don't know if you guys could see that from the camera. I do replace that. So now I'm going to do the other set screw, which is there it is right there. The lock dropped a little bit. There it is. And then I can unthread the other cylinder. Then once I have that, obviously the lock body can come out. So always want to make sure the lock body's out. And I'm pulling this out here. There we go. And then it's out. And I already have where I need to bore out the hole. So in this application, I was thinking about what drill bit to use. I ended up doing the unibit. With the unibit, it kind of has steps, so you can choose to go how deep you want to go and how big. If you have a hole saw, that'll work too. I didn't have my hole saw on me, unfortunately, so the unibit was the next big thing. But based on the cutout size, I was able to do 2 holes, and that got me pretty close to the cutout sketch. Um, but again, if you don't have a jig like me and you're just utilizing a hole saw or drill bit, you kind of have to get creative. Um, and I'll show you what I mean there in a second. So I'm putting in that second hole there. And I'm trying to stay within that template I had, because you do have a little bit of play with the lock indicator. The housing itself will cover a decent hole size, but obviously if you go out of the template range, then the end user is going to see the hole there. So, and then I was trying to actually I ended up using the tin snips to join the holes there, and that worked pretty good. But there's still quite a bit of templating space. So then I ran the 1/4 inch drill bit, um, all within the templating rectangle that I have drawn. but I run a few holes in there to just kind of make that hole larger. And then I ran the tin snips again. And then here I'm filing. So I ended up filing quite a bit just to clean it up. This was a bit of a process. You could see all the shavings in there, and then I'm testing it as I do it to see if it'll fit. It's not quite. I see there's a spot, so I end up filing it. So definitely you want to have some drill bits and have a file. There you can see it's all cleaned up, so it worked out good. But I do have shavings in the door style, so what I do is I always clean those out before installing the lock or anything like that. So here I'm tapping it out and cleaning it out a little bit. But yeah, these lock indicators, we have these available on the website. We have them in the storefront door colors. So here I'm working on a clear anodized door, which is basically silver. And then we also have dark bronze, or as a lot of end users call it, black. But here, so now I can I'm fitting the lock body back in after I cleaned out those shavings. And I'm just going to repeat that process. So I'm slipping it in. And then these are the two long screws. There's one at each end. Thread that in there. And if you guys ever have questions on what will work with the current lock you have, that's the benefit of working with a door company like us, is we do make these doors, assemble these doors. So the hardware we're very familiar with. So if you have pictures of your existing door lock, we could definitely guide you to compatible parts. The challenge nowadays is it seems like everybody's online now, and man, I've even seen like furniture retail stores supposedly selling hardware and stuff for these doors or these doors themselves, and it's um, definitely I would say out of their wheelhouse to do that. So you definitely want to work with somebody that can provide the know-how and assistance of what they're actually selling, because there is a lot of sort of junky parts out there, and a lot of the stuff isn't compatible with standard locks you're going to find on these doors. So here what I'm doing is I'm replacing that trim ring. So I'm going to get a new trim ring. Those are the dark bronze ones. I need the silver, and we'll fix that trim ring. Yeah, I'm searching around for it. See, guys, usually I'm not the one pulling the orders. I just typically will assemble the doors and ship doors. So here we go here. So I did find it eventually with a little assistance. So I put on the new trim ring, and it's basically a spacer, but I just thread it back on. It looks great. What I'm doing is I'm threading the cylinder into the lock body just enough, and then as I rotate it, there's actually a groove in the cylinder, and that's where the set screw fits in. So I'm kind of screwing in the set screw and rocking it back and forth until I can tell the set screw's in the groove. Once it is, then I can tighten that set screw. I've seen guys who didn't do the groove and they just thread it right in and they waste away the threads, and then they have a hard time getting the cylinder out. So you definitely want to be careful here. And then here I'm putting in the second cylinder. Again, thread it in a ways. Once you get to where it should be, kind of pull it back a little and start threading in the set screw so you can find that groove on the cylinder housing. Once you find that groove and rock it back and forth and can tell the set screw's in there, go ahead and torque it down. There it is right there. You can see I found the groove, and then I torque it down. And if you guys notice, I have not drilled the holes for the screws for the lock indicator. Right now, I'm just slipping it in, and I'm going to make sure everything aligns right and is working functionally before I actually screw in the mounting screws for the lock indicator. So it did fit in there. But there is one big thing. So you do need it comes with a little pin, uh, and you have to put it in the lock body. And that way, as you turn, how it works is as you turn the key or the thumb turn, um, the lock bolt will throw. And as it throws, that pin is in the lock body and it'll slide up or down. And that's how it changes the status of that indicator. Um, so here I'm checking it. You kind of have to hold the lock indicator still, so it's a little bit of maneuvering because I don't have the set screws in or the mounting screws in. But you always want to check this first because if for whatever reason you're attaching it in sort of not the best location, it's not going to flip the status indicator properly. So right here. I'm trying to find the perfect spot there. And I end up finding it. So what I do now is I just take I pre-drill the hole, and I do one hole at a time. Now, ideally, guys, you should mark out the holes once you find them, and then remove that lock body. I end up not doing it, but I was careful not to get any shavings in the lock. So you absolutely don't want any lock shavings in the lock body because that could jam it up and cause problems down the road. Like I said, I was careful and didn't get any shavings in there. But here you can see me. And two, if you don't do it too, you have to be very careful drilling because you don't want to obviously drill through the lock body. So be note that. But here I'm basically setting up so that I could put that screw for the upper uh, mounting screw for the lock indicator. There it goes. I'm drilling. And guys, it's not a bad process. Again, this is required for ADA compliance in the state of Washington, Oregon, California, Utah, and I believe Idaho. So a lot of doors don't have it. This is actually a pretty good little service if you need to add this to existing retail doors. Another thing too is they come with a sticker that you're supposed to put above the door. It's man, I'm trying to remember the terminology on this, the wording on the sticker exactly. The door to remain unlocked during normal business hours, I believe. But it comes with that, and you're supposed to put that above the door as well. So the ADA lock indicator package from us comes with everything you need, which makes it pretty nice. So here I'm just attaching the set screw, and then I have to repeat the process for the bottom set screw. So here I'm throwing it. Yep, there it goes. And it goes good. And you can see that the status does change. Right now it says open, and then I flip it and it changes status. So, and we also sell automatic sliding storefront doors. So you'll see these indicators on those a lot of times too. I mean, once you see them, you'll notice they're on a lot of doors. And if you're in a state that doesn't have it or doesn't require it, it's still a good thing to use. A lot of times it just helps identify the status of the lock. So a nice feature to have for sure. Okay, guys, so I'm just drilling that bottom hole, and then I will attach the bottom mounting screw. There we go. And then attaching the bottom mounting screw. And then I believe I have to still put the faceplate cover on the hook bolt there. But other than that, it's functional. It works. And that's basically how you add an ADA lock indicator to a door that doesn't have it or is not prepped for it. So I hope this video helped you guys, because it's not a bad process. If you have to do a ton of them, there is a jig available for it. But again, I didn't have that. If you have hole saws, unibit, or just drill bits, you can get it done. Just make sure you bring a file. But yeah, it looks clean. even just manually doing it like that. So not a bad installation. And then finally the 3 screws for the faceplate. And of course, anytime you guys work on door locks or anything, um, obviously goes without saying, before you leave, uh, especially if you pull a door, chain changes, anything, always double check, make sure that lock works. That could save you a lot of headache or callbacks. So here I'm just putting the faceplate on, and then it's done. That will wrap up this installation, guys. Thank you for watching.
All right, guys, so that's the video. That's how I installed an ADA lock indicator on a storefront door that didn't have it. I hope this helps. All ADA lock indicators are available at autodoorandhardware.com. Give us a call, text us, email us. We're more than happy to help. Thanks for watching.